What's up, everyone? This is Smeek Peeg, the leading Australian voice in online fun posting, and today we are looking at the decision of the Australian government to deport Novak Djokovic from Australia after cancelling his visa status. So this has been a long, drawn-out saga. As most of you know, Djokovic is the world #1 in tennis and was in the country to participate in the Australian Open. He was previously found to have lied on his visa application by claiming to have not travelled in the past 14 days before entering the country, and was unvaccinated. As a result, he had his visa cancelled by the Australian Immigration Minister after being detained by border police. Djokovic had successfully challenged his visa being cancelled the first time, however lost the second round in federal court. Which leads us to this article in the BBC. Novak Djokovic, tennis star, deported after losing Australian visa at battle. And here we can see him being escorted to a Melbourne airport on Sunday. Novak Djokovic has been deported from Australia after losing a last-ditch court bid to stay in the country. Judges rejected a challenge by the unvaccinated tennis star after the government cancelled his visa on health and good order grounds. Djokovic said he was extremely disappointed but accepted the ruling, and he has left on a flight to Dubai. It marks the end of a 10-day saga in which the Serb fought to stay to defend his title in the Australian Open. Now, there has been a lot of anger in this kerfuffle, especially abroad in Djokovic's home nation of Serbia. Now, I can respect Djokovic's choice of standing by his principles, and his conviction of not being coerced into receiving the jab. However, I also respect my nation's decision to stand by its strong policy of defending Australia's borders. For those of you unaware, Australia has some of the strongest border protection policies relating to the movement of people, food, wood products, and animals into the country, and for good reason.
Hey, look! Those frogs are eating all our crops!
This strong policy is large in part due to the hordes of undocumented economic migrants who travel illegally to Australia as refugees, normally via boat from Indonesia, by human traffickers or people smugglers. The situation under the previous left-wing government, the Australian Labor Party, got so far out of hand it became one of the major platforms that secured a Conservative victory back in 2013, which has seen the Australian Liberal Party run the nation for 9 straight years now.
And I work on an adult fix line to make ends meet.
Since implementing policies such as turning back people smuggler boats and offshore detention facilities, the problem has largely left the news headlines. Now knowing this, we'll be looking at the reaction to Australia's decision on Djokovic by an alleged American conservative writer, Jon Del Arroz. Jon had previously celebrated Djokovic's win over Australia, but is now spurging out over the appeal.
I was just on a stream tonight earlier asking a person from Australia what the hell is wrong with his country. They seem to be absolutely crazy over there. Nothing seems to work quite right. And this is still the case right now. The news just broke that Serbian tennis star Novak Djokovic is going to be deported from Australia after a weeks-long drama. The idiot prime minister once again was making another statement. This prime minister went out and gave all these measures about COVID and how it's getting even worse. I'm really upset about this. I've seen this going on for weeks. I can't believe it's drawn out this long. I can't believe the government's this incompetent, this corrupt, this tyrannical, that they'd harass this guy. But it does harken back to Nazi Germany. What I want to see from the tennis society, from the ATP, which is the men's tennis group, I want to see them cancel the Australian Open. Another thing I'd like to see is the other top tennis players on the tour cancel out of the Australian Open.
In addition to taking to YouTube and spurging out on Twitter to cry about it and spam his low-effort content, it's surprising that Jon, a self-confessed conservative and Trump supporter, would throw away his own standards and politics, such as border protection, which he claims for America's borders, but demand Australia to relax theirs.
They locked him in some weird roach motel with a bunch of other immigrants who have been locked up there for years in some cases, people who are lost in the system, just treated like criminals for a long time. And it exposed that. he was treated like that for several days, and you'd think that somebody of this level could not be treated like that. It exposed the nastiness of Australia's immigration system. It exposed all of the refugees that are there that are being mistreated by the Australian government. Those people are getting lost in this. Those people get forgotten through the course of this, but they weren't even noticed until it was brought to light from this whole deal.
If I was a guest in either America or Serbia, I would respect those nations' laws and customs as a guest to either respective nation. Australia's border security is the envy of other Western nations, in particular America, the UK, and European nations, which have been largely inundated by refugees from Africa, South America, and the Middle East over the past decade. I find it amusing that as soon as a creature comfort for Jon, such as watching his favourite athlete compete in tennis, the sports ball, his politics immediately get thrown out of the window, crying in his piss baby panties and chucking a fit like a spoilt child. In closing, I would just like to reiterate, I respect Djokovic for his stance. I respect Australia for showing that favouritism and elitism doesn't exist when it comes to the application of its laws. And I disrespect Jon for being a crybaby. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time.